My name is Sophie Intveld. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm a member of the Liberal Democrat group in the European Parliament.
What was the panel about, and what was your opinion about Bورکینی?
Okay, the panel was about whether or not a Bورkini ban is a good idea. And I have to say, I do not like any rules about, the way that women should dress, and in particular rules that tell women that they should cover their heads or their bodies. At the same time, I do not like laws that are telling women to take it off. Women should decide for themselves, and that's why the hashtag for this session was She Decides.
If you travel to Iran, whether you stand up for your choice as well, or you accept compulsory hijab in Iran?
No, of course we're against compulsory hijab. I mean, I think it's something that I find horrifying. I mean, locking women up. Why should anybody tell women what to wear? And what is the purpose? The purpose is to keep women down, to restrict their freedom, quite literally their physical freedom of movement. And I think it's not only immoral to restrict the freedom of women, it's also bad for society, because look around you. Societies that embrace equality and diversity are societies that are prosperous, societies that are free, societies that are safer, and they are societies where people are happier. So, I think for the society as a whole, it's better if women and men are equal.
But why we never see any female politician challenging compulsory hijab, like Catherine Ashton, Federica Mogherini, or Ségolène Royal, she is right now in Iran? Why we never see them challenging the law in Iran about compulsory hijab?
If we do that in the European Parliament. It's very often seen as, a woman's thingy. It's not so important. It's as if women's rights are somehow inferior to human rights. And that also goes for media. I mean, they will not give it a lot of attention because they don't think it's very important. The other thing is, of course, and I've never been to Iran, so I have to say, but I realize that there is a serious dilemma there. Because if you don't accept the rules of the land, then you cannot go there. And that means you also cannot speak to, for example, NGOs, women's movements, and what have you. So I do think we need to use such occasions to challenge it. At the same time, I also recognize that if the consequence of completely rejecting the rules is that you simply cannot travel to Iran anymore and not talk to anybody, then you lose the opportunity for contact and dialogue. It's a really difficult dilemma, but I would expect not just women. I mean, that's actually not a bad question. Why do you put the burden unilaterally on women politicians who travel there? Why don't you expect male politicians to challenge the ban?
Because men think it's not their issue, so that's why they never...
Okay, but now I put it as a question to you. Why do you expect women to take the burden of challenging it and not men?
Because it's about women to be forced to wear hijab. They are not forcing men to wear hijab.
Yes,
so it's
but
about...
I also think it's also the obligation of anyone calling themselves a Democrat, whether they're a man or a woman, to challenge these practices. So not just women.
So do you want to say anything to the Iranian government who forced women to wear hijab, whether they travel abroad and they are free to choose whatever they want to wear?
Where can you start? It's such a horrifying, archaic, and stupid rule. As I said, it is damaging to society. I mean, how can you have a prosperous society if you restrict the freedom of one half of it, more than half? It's immoral, it's stupid, and I would really call on Iran or the Iranian leadership to try and change this and maybe, bring about a change in the region as well.
So, last question, a personal question. Was it easy for you as a woman to be a member of European Parliament? What kind of challenge, struggle you have been through?
For me personally, I've not had major obstacles, and I'm very, very aware of the fact that I have opportunities and freedoms that very few women in the world have. At the same time, I think it's also an illusion to think that Europe is free of sexism and discrimination. I think there's still a lot of injustice, a lot of inequality, and a lot of work to be done also in Europe.
Thank you so much. And you ever wish to go to Iran?
I would love to. People tell me, I know people who, colleagues who went there, but I also have friends who went there on holidays, and it's not a very common holiday destination. And they said it's a lovely country, so who knows, one day.